Ayesha's days began before sunrise. She sat at her old sewing machine, stitching clothes for neighbors at prices so low they barely covered fabric and thread. The small earnings helped her buy groceries, but the unpaid bills on her shelf only grew taller. She often whispered to herself, "Is this all my life will ever be?" struggling to survive. But deep inside, Ayesha held a quiet fire. She dreamed of one day having her own clothing brand, where her creativity could shine, and her family could live without financial fear. The turning point, the spark came one evening when her daughter asked for new shoes for school. Ayesha searched her wallet, but all she found were a few crumpled notes, nowhere near enough. That night, as her daughter slept, Ayesha broke down in tears. Then, she wiped her eyes and made a promise to herself. "I will never let my children's dreams be limited by my struggles. I will learn how to make money work for me." It was a vow that changed everything. Learning and unlearning. With no formal education in business, Ayesha turned to free resources. She borrowed books from a library, watched online tutorials about personal finance, and even attended free workshops at a local women's center. She discovered the power of budgeting and saving. She wrote down every rupee earned and spent. She cut unnecessary household expenses. She started setting aside small savings in a jar labeled "business fund." It wasn't much, but each coin dropped into that jar felt like an investment in her future. Building a side income, Ayesha realized that to grow, she needed to treat her sewing not as odd jobs, but as a business. She started branding her work, adding little handmade tags with her name. Customers loved the personal touch. Encouraged, she began posting pictures of her clothes on social media. Orders slowly trickled in. At first, it was just neighbors. Then, strangers began messaging her. Her confidence grew. "I'm not just a tailor. I'm a designer." Facing setbacks. The path wasn't smooth. Some months were painfully slow. Once, a large order was cancelled at the last moment, leaving her with unused fabric she couldn't afford. For a while, she thought of quitting. But every time doubt crept in, she remembered her daughter's face the night she couldn't afford shoes. That memory became her fuel. She reminded herself daily, failure isn't the end. It's feedback. The breakthrough. After 2 years of tireless work, Ayesha had saved enough to rent a small shop. It was nothing fancy, just 4 walls and a counter, but to her, it was a palace of dreams. She hung her best designs at the front, and with every stitch, she poured her heart into her creations. Word spread. Customers appreciated not only her designs but also her journey. They saw a woman who rose from scarcity and turned it into strength. Her shop soon became known as Ayesha Designs. Growth and transformation. Ayesha reinvested every rupee wisely. Instead of splurging, she bought better sewing machines, hired 2 assistants, and expanded her collection. Within a few years, her boutique became a recognized name in her city. The same woman who once counted coins at her sewing machine now confidently managed accounts, paid employees, and even mentored other women starting businesses. Her children no longer worried about school fees or simple needs. More importantly, they now saw their mother as a living example of resilience and strength. Lessons from Ayesha's story. 1. Start with what you have. Don't wait for perfect conditions, use your current skills and tools. 2. Budgeting is empowerment. Writing down every rupee gives clarity and control. 3. Small savings create big change. Even coins saved with discipline can grow into capital. 4. Treat side hustles like businesses, branding, discipline, and consistency turn small work into big ventures. 5. Persistence beats obstacles. Setbacks are part of the journey, not the end of it. Final words. Ayesha's journey from a dim sewing corner to owning a thriving boutique proves that financial freedom is not about luck, it's about vision, courage, and persistence. Her story is a reminder: your circumstances don't define your future. Your choices do. If you feel stuck in your financial struggles today, think of Ayesha. She started with a single needle and thread, and stitched her way to success. And if she could, so can you.